Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wulfboi Gaming channel, and before we get into this episode, I just want to give a special thanks to my patrons over at patreon.com. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sticking out as long as you have with us, and we hope to really knock it out of the park with this episode and more to come. Thank you to Kishan Macklemore, Real Manpra, Magos Loki, Alphadron, Storm Knight, Mr. Breakfast, Ben, Miertoviec, Miguel Batacan, Adrian, TPNJZ, Polarni Torino, Lex Biernat. Thank you so much, guys, for contributing to this channel. You guys are just slam dunk awesome. Now, on to our episode.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today with Introducing Friends. Today's topic for Introducing Friends is Warhammer 40,000, if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. Leading the discussions will be George, aka Wulfboi.
Hello. Huh.
Accompanying him will be James, aka Griever.
Yay! Wait a sec.
Saving the best for last, we have Chelsea, aka Starrgal. Hello, everybody.
Okay,
George?
hold on a second. What? No,
George,
what?
why did you get failsafe here?
Don't
Nah, that was a failsafe. Failsafe sounds differently.
Yeah, don't tell the Tex Mechanicus about what's going on. Anyway.
I just stole a VI, it's fine.
Alright. Well, it's been a long time coming, but we are back in the saddle again.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
Been a while.
How is everyone?
Well, we survived the cursed year.
Yeah.
A little worse for wear, but hanging in there.
Yeah, the
I'm gonna
closing
count that
months
as a
were
plus.
horrible to us in different ways, so,
Yes.
yeah.
But hey, we made it out in mostly one piece, so we're good. That's the plus, and I'm holding to it.
Yep, I'm with you
It's
there.
fair.
Yep. So here's hoping that everyone else also had a good close of the year, and Happy New Year, everyone. We made it. We lived.
Yay!
All right. Since it's been a long while, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to everyone who's been so patient with us while we were dealing with our own thing. And yeah, you guys are just amazing. We're able to reach a whole new level on the channel. We are at 3,600 subscribers despite the drought that's happened, and all the support that we've been receiving has been amazing. So thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I won't hold up any longer. We are going back into TTS, and we're going to be starting things off with If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device Special. Get ready for
Oh,
this.
special!
Yep. Ooh, the special.
Listen, I just figured out how to use different voices with this text-to-speech
Oh gosh,
thing.
it's this one.
Hello, I am the Emperor.
Hello, Emperor. I too am Emperor.
What are you up to, Emperor?
Oh no, just sitting about slowly dying. How about yourself?
That is certainly a coincidence, as I too am sitting about in ceaseless agony.
Holy Terran Tater Tots, we have so much in common.
Holy
Yes,
Terran.
we should be best friends for life.
Absolutely, you're the
For
best Emperor I
life.
know.
Your flatter is
lich.
as magnificent as you are, Emperor.
Hello there, boys. My name's Empress.
Oh,
You are looking
Jesus.
majestic today. Did you work out?
Oh my, hello there. You come here often.
Emperor, do not talk to her.
Oh, yes, I do. Your friend seems a bit shy. He got a problem?
Oh no, sweetie. He's just a bit weird dinno. Not very sociable.
Gasp. How could you say that about me?
Look, Emperor, don't ruin this for me.
Stop talking to that vile temptress, Emperor.
You're crazy, Emperor. You're just being a loser.
How can you do this to me, Emperor? I thought we had something.
It's not like that anymore, Emperor. I've moved on.
But, I still love you.
Well, that's your problem.
Hey, Emperor, I'm waiting for you.
I am going to kill her.
Stop. You're scaring me.
I'm going to fucking kill that vile fiend.
No, come on, please. Leave us alone. You're just overreacting. You're just on your period or something.
Really? You've fallen. You've been corrupted, and you will never return, Emperor. You are dead to me. As dead as a guardsman high-fiving a D-cannon shot with his face.
Come on, baby. Don't say that. I can totally do to it once. It'll be great. Come on, baby girl.
Go away. Just go. You're dead. Stop talking. Dead people do not talk.
That's rich coming from you.
F you. U-C-K. Off.
Fine. Be that way.
This feature is stupid.
Gosh.
That was amazing.
That was a good special. Well, not lore heavy or anything, but it's just so funny just to
A little
be
laugh.
silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the whole part with Empress just walking in, that's like one of those moments where it's like, oh, is he really going to have that moment with himself? Really?
Yeah, he's doing this. Oh, okay.
Alright. So,
You'll have to fill me in on that one later.
oh, there's not really much to fill out. It's just pure TTS silliness out on display.
Oh, okay then.
Alright.
Yeah, no, that one is just, hey guys, you know what we can do? Because technically these things can do multiple voices.
Yep.
It's
Alright.
like programming Siri to have a different accent. Just because you can.
Oh, funny enough, I actually did do that with mine. Irish woman.
I've got a British one because, for a very strange reason, I just say thank you just out of habit.
Mhm.
So I would say thank you to the American one, and it would just say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And the dumb thing about this is they're learning machines, which meant that the American one was so dumb it didn't know what thank you meant.
That I have no reaction to that.
Whereas the British one will say, you're welcome, or something to that effect. Or happy to help, or something like that. We're just kind of like, it's sad.
Well, it's a thing, I guess.
So Skynet will probably hit the States first. Good to know.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
I was gonna say mine's. I made my Google Maps Australian.
Oh. Comes from the land down under.
Yes.
Think about Ninja Sex Party.
What?
Sorry. They did a cover of that song.
Oh, okay, that explains.
And honestly, I've listened to the cover more than I have the original, so that's why.
Gotcha. All right. So, with all that said, I feel now is a good time to jump into the real chunk of what you guys want. If the Emperor had a Texas
We've
speed
gotten distracted.
so easily, yeah. It goes to show just how long it's been. Our focus is a little skewed.
I don't know. I don't know why you guys are having such a problem focusing. Ooh, something shiny.
Yeah, that's right. Go after it. You lion-loving bitch. Anyway.
You're the
Ow!
one who would chase a pretend ball up this hallway.
Wait, what?
You're the dog. I can pretend to throw the toy, and you run up the hallway all excited.
Listen, that only happened once, and we're not... Okay, moving on. So, If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device, Episode 15, Tau.
I'm trying to remember what the Tau were. Or are.
You remember during the question and answer episode, they were talking about one particular race of fish people?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I sure hope the army Syncopia is here. Do not keep your hopes up, Megoscrus. Remember what happened the last time we tried finding it on a penal world.
Oh yes, I remember. They launched you out of a cannon.
Hair. You could say that you pierced the
A
heavens.
food processor?
I'm not sure who's the hell you think I am,
Yep.
but if you persist in making stupid jokes, you better believe in me, Sablis, that you lying dead on the ground. The 100 straight for your fucking cranium is better than you standing here, wasting oxygen. Besides, we have to find this
Do they breathe oxygen?
or
Some of them do.
alternatively, the Omniseeker Pyre.
Well, actually, I cannot see any STC around here, but that giant pillar certainly looks peculiar.
By the Omnisire, this is ancient technology.
Look, there are more of them over there.
Speaker.
Giant speakers.
I have heard of seasoned legends. Upon the eve of great celebration, mankind would tread these planets, jumping around like idiots as the repeated patterns of sound blasting out of these pillars. They also
Yeah?
injected copious amounts of drugs.
Sounds like what the Fabricator General does all the time.
We must search for more depths. We have a lot of work in front of us.
And he doesn't just dispute it. He just like, yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens with any position of power. You just assume the worst.
Stay.
Well, I've sent away the message telling the Octaries about their second mission now. Hopefully you'll be with them in spirit on their new conquest.
I'd rather not. Their obnoxious chanting just worsens my internal headache.
Well, maybe enough discussion about something will ease your splintered mind, my lord. I'm open to talk about anything.
I would be too, but let's not forget what happened last time you said that. Try and keep to subjects that
Yeah,
would
when
make
you
me
talk
want
about
to
the Chaos
destroy
Legions.
the entire galaxy
Oh, okay.
with my transcendent bowel movements.
Sure. So,
Oh, I remember the
Tell
shitting
me
out
about
warp
those Xeno
storms.
creatures that you mentioned back when we read those revolting questions. Toa, or whatever their name was.
can I not say that I did?
Are you defying me?
No. Maybe.
Maybe.
It's just, you said not to talk about things that would cause explosive warp farts and.
I would like to remind you, young man, that I'm the motherfucking Emperor, and that defying my
Young
subject
man.
matter of the day will have you be selected as the
Relatively
target
speaking.
for the Seek and Destroy mission
Yeah.
during the next Blood Games. Your custodian brothers
Then
will
again,
have
compared to the
reason
Eternal
lifetime
Corpse,
chasing
who's
you
not
around.
young.
Oh, Emperor.
And I'm going to presume the Destroy part is something they particularly enjoy.
Please, no. Not again.
There's something they will be destroying with those throbbing guardian spears. Am I right?
I thought you were supposed to be charismatic while persuading people to obey
I
you.
am. Because I know you secretly like this.
Okay, we are stopping right here. The dolphin just dropped dead. Don't take a 180 and drastically change the subject.
Well, stop whining, and tell me about these Tarzinos then.
Fair enough, my lord. The Tau are a race of naive, blue-grey fish-like people with a vagina on their forehead and giant, stupid toilet forehead with no skull ornaments on at all and weaponry that makes pathetic pew-pew sounds when fired.
Right. Care to elaborate?
Must I? Well, during the 35th millennium, some fucking explorators from the Adeptus Mechanicus were flying around the empty void of the eastern fringes of the galaxy for no reason. Then they found some world filled with primitive fucking Xenos that only used rocks as weapons, which, for the record, is still a lot more aesthetically pleasing than what they've got going on today. These no-nose fish fappers split themselves into four
No-nose
factions
fish
that represented the only resources they had in that little rock of theirs, which were water, earth, fire, and air. These factions constantly fought like skinny, miscoloured orcs with mental issues for no reason. Then at some point, another faction came along out of nowhere which called themselves the Ethereals. They said to the Tau, "Hey, you should stop throwing rocks at each other, you fucking idiots." And the other Tau said, Oh yeah, I didn't really think of that. So then they
Didn't
became
think of that.
Imperial slaves for no reason. Started to build all kinds of stupid shit, and then decided to go and try some space conquering, which they've barely done any of, since they're still sitting way up east rolling their fucking no, wait, no, they don't even have thumbs. So, sum it all up. They're a small Xenos race with scary toy guns that kidnap gullible guardsmen and cut their balls off for no reason. They are completely redundant in any threat record, and I am sick to death of them being brought up all the time, because there's never any fucking reason to!
Damn, calm down, son. I was only asking. Shit, you are starting to sound like your father.
I'm sorry, my lord.
So humans tend to
Oh, so you
leave
recognize
Imperium
that
to go and
you're
join
not
the Xenos
good.
Empire, correct?
Yes,
Everyone
but
has
it's
their
not only
moments.
humans. The Tower have gotten a shitload of other minuscule and important Xeno races to join them as well. Just like a gang of creepy old hobos in a hive city, they lure in others with promises of deeds performed for the greater good, never really specifying what the greater good is, nor why they keep moaning about it as they force you to go deep inside their own pocket domain, where you can never hope to escape once inside.
I am genuinely sickened when you put it into these contexts. I hope all this repressed anger isn't from some pseudo-weird first-hand experience.
I'd rather not say. Now, my Emperor, could you please order me to send an immediate death warrant onto these foul creatures that we can mobilize all forces we've got and destroy them before they populate more planets with their cringeworthy ways?
Well, if you put it like that.
Right there, Father. Do not let him brainwash you so easily.
Him.
Do you still have a brain, actually?
Not sure.
Yeah, him.
I'll have
A
to
brain.
ask someone to check later and see if it's still
It
there.
fell out of your
I
skull.
hope it is. Where else am I going to store all my glorious fourth wall-breaking punts?
Brainwashing? Really? You're complaining about brainwashing?
Ha! For looking like a yellow submarine, there seems to be a distinct lack of intelligent life living inside your head.
That's fucking hilarious.
Of course a Chaos Worshipper is going to side with the fucking Xenos.
I'm taking the side of reason in this debate, and my reason is telling me that you are very biased in this discussion.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling the truth.
The truth about how the Tower are a race of creepy old vagina-faced hobos that exist for no reason?
Exactly!
Father, do not listen to him. While I do not appreciate the existence of these Xenos myself, what with their distinctive disconnection to the warp and the disrespect they have for arcane knowledge, I can tell you that these creatures could do more good for you than bad, if handled correctly.
Is that so? Then tell me, how would they benefit my goals?
Maybe we can get the Mechanicus to turn them to servitors and then have them develop this drive technology on their foreheads, and that way they can actually be of some fucking use to the galaxy.
The Tau have surpassed us in arcane space, and many
It's so
technological feats in the
aggressive.
span of 6,000 years. They are an open-minded and fairly naive race, always open to the suggestion of more allies joining their empire. While their leaders are oppressive and tyrannical, they are but small, cuddly teddy bears in comparison to the bureaucratic puppeteers of the Imperium or the iron-handed maniacs of chaos.
At least those guys don't cut people's balls off or rip out people's ovaries. Seriously.
You must be as naive as the Tau if you don't believe that mankind is just as capable of such atrocities. Your Imperium has forced gelding onto
Looks
more
at the
than a
history
few
books.
innocent people, I bet, what with all those inquisitorial sterilization camps. As for chaos, well, Slanesh has a weird sense of humor.
Alright, fine, you got me on that one.
I think that with the use of your powerful charisma, you could manipulate these Signos into working for you, which would more than likely aid in the recovery, or at the very least further the lifespan of this rotting Imperium of yours.
Didn't you mention that they had no presence in the warp? How am I supposed to use my charisma when I can bolster it with my psychic strength?
No, they do have a presence in the warp, but it is very small. I think an overwhelming presence such as mine or yours would still be able to affect them.
My lord, I beg of you, do not listen to this possessed traitor. The Tau fight only for their ideology, enslaved by the Ethereals and control them through pheromones like they're some kind of horny rodents. They only fight for their greater good.
Well, what if I use my powers to become their greater good?
But, my lord...
No, but I'd prefer at least one of you
You
custodians
sound so whiny.
to keep your armor on.
It's like a
Never mind,
child
just
complaining
shut up and do
to
what I say.
parent, like, I want ice cream for dinner. No,
As
but
long as they are under regulation, and they do not interfere with mankind, it is all right.
They have winch-worthy weaponry with no skulls or holy symbols on them.
As long as they serve the Imperium and only fire upon those who wish to destroy us, it is all right.
But they have a socio-economic philosophy that promotes a
Is he leaning in like I'm right?
But in actuality,
I think he is.
Magnus?
yeah.
As long as as everyone is treated well and fairly in the conjoined Imperium, where there will be no need for retarded and corrupt political systems, and the Ethereals will be under my direct control. It's all right.
But they have turned a whole lot of loyal guardsmen into sterile, base-dwelling towers that only ever draw nude pictures that they use as tower propaganda.
As long as I'm not shown any of that eye-watering Xenala Futanary /Tier or garbage, it's all right.
But
As long as I don't have to see it, I don't care.
melee.
I'm sorry, but what did you just say?
The Tau are a cowardly race that only fire upon their enemies so far, never engaging in any form of melee combat.
Is this true, Magnus?
Well, yes.
That is
Absolutely disgraceful.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I said it now, so I'm still here. We might as well make the best out of this situation.
Now, Father, let's not be hasty here.
how can they not fight in glorious hand-to-hand, face-to-face combat with their adversaries like all true champions of the battlefield do?
Basically, they just shoot anyone before they can get into range. And what's more, they're also all physically weak and pathetic. They seriously make drones to all of the warriors tasks for them and have the technology to make giant robot suits, but they only ever use those suits to carry bigger guns and not to fight in close quarters. Seriously, what is the fucking point in making a giant robot controlled by your own limbs if you're not going to use it to punch the shit out of things?
Fair argument.
That Lazar's use that for greater things.
In addition, they use other Xenos that they enslaved to fight in melee battles for them, making them into meat shields and then they bring to guardsmen.
This revelation fills you with more disgust and spite. Spells being thrown into a pile of feeding tendrils.
That's what I've been trying to say. They cower at one rage, hide behind their big boxy mech units, just shooting at the enemy like they're on some kind of firing line. The Tau have no honor, and I have no respect for a race that doesn't even have the fucking decency to fight you in melee combat, which is the most honorable method of combat. How the fuck can they claim to be when they won't even break up a sharpened piece of fucking metal to shank you with? Like,
Fucking sharp piece of metal to shake you with.
Oh, so actually that were honorable, is it?
I cannot willingly associate myself with such dishonorable creatures. If they want to join the Imperium of Man, they better bring some fucking chain katanas or something.
My lord, I will personally take my halberd and go on a crusade to the Tyrells myself, and I will shove it down the throats of every single one of their pathetic fucking hides, drowning them in their own blood for your glory, my lord!
Father, are you really sure this reasoning is, sound?
Shut your fucking mouth, you tub of discounted ketchup!
That's I
I learned from the best.
Damn straight.
I'm just gonna go back to my damn room. What? What's Imperial currency into the October fog?
Hey, can I actually tell you a funny story about the tower we're at in?
Oh, I do love me some good story time.
I like stories too.
The Tau were fighting the Tyranids. They feared this enemy and desperately looked for
Your
allies,
tea.
as we know the Tau can't fight their own fucking battles. But then they were contacted by the Dark Eldar that offered them help. Since the Tau were so desperate, they accepted the alliance and both factions fought together side by side against the Tyranids. After that, however, the Dark Eldar leader came to the Tau leader and told them that they wanted a prize for his help, which was 77 Tau from each caste, including 7 Ethereals, as a cultural exchange, as they called it. The Tau, in all their naivety, agreed to send the Tau ambassadors on their way. Later, they fought against the second wave of Tyranids, but this time the Dark Eldar had some special forces with them that they called Grotesques, which were big hulking beasts that moaned in suffering as they fought. Later, when the battle was over, the Tau managed to find out that these Grotesques apparently were the Tau ambassadors from the cultural exchange. The Tau were kind of upset by this, even if they were the ones who willingly sent their brethren along with the spiky, super-sadistic-looking drug dealers. In response to this, the Tau would take the Dark Elder ships, but as they fired upon them, they realised that the ships weren't actually there anymore. Later, when the Tau forces went back to the planet they were defending in the first place, they discovered that the Dark Elder had super-pillaged the entire planet and left it completely barren. All Tau civilians, buildings, and presumably plants, taken to the Dark Eldar realm of Carbon to become subject to incredibly kinky shit, possibly involving precision knives, drugs, and nail clips.
Why would you steal
You
the
would think that anyone
plants?
would assume that a cultural exchange with a species that looked like completely cracked up EDSM enthusiasts would be a bad idea. Then again, maybe if they would have had some damn melee weapons with them, that wouldn't have been a fucking problem.
Or fix for an entertaining story.
I just remembered something.
Where you left your Ouija board.
Even better, there is one Tau warrior who rejected the oppressive rule of the Ethereals and actually uses his giant robot armor to wield the devastating warp-powered sword.
Everything you just said sounded pretty damn worthy of my attention.
Do you mean that, Commander Carfreight, or whatever his name is?
Commander Farsight, yes! Not only is he known for wrecking a large number of orcs in close combat, but he formed a breakaway colony from the main Tau region known as the Farsight Enclave. Apparently he didn't appreciate having his troops lobotomized by the Ethereals, so presumably he decided to go and do his own thing.
Interesting. Tell me more about this Carfreight character. He sounds fun. Perhaps we could make a cheesy animated Hollow series about him and his adventures and fill it to the brim with my kind of Imperial propaganda. Yes, the begun of a new allegiance plan has only just begun.
I was hoping to change subject matter to something less as my sort of internal headache.
That something so
Precision.
vile and abominable could happen to the most sacred world in the galaxy. It's absolutely disgusting. The Order Custodium has obviously not done their job very well. And
Obviously.
one more reason for me to have traveled here.
Corpse is still there and
don't
rotting
worry,
away.
Fyodor. At least we still have each other. And not only that, but a shitload of Inquisitors from across the galaxy as well. But even now, I still don't have those damn sandpaper cigarettes.
Poor Squeak.
Seriously, what the
We are going to have to do
Squeak.
what would be considered by the ignorant to be the most heretical thing anyone has ever done since the horrid days of the Horus Heresy. However, with the God Emperor as my witness, it will instead be the most pure and noble thing anyone has ever done for the Imperium.
Now that's the spirit, Fyodor. I mean, look at all the Ordos here. We got Inquisitors of the Order Malleus, Hereticus, and Xenos, and their Chamber Militia, of course. And then we got the Order Aegis, the Ordo Barbarus, the Ordo Custodium, as you mentioned, the
Oh
Ordo
my God.
Sanctus, the Ordo Sanctorum, the Ordo Redemptus,
I love
the Ordo
this.
Necros, the Ordo Scriptorium, the Ordo Militarium, the Ordo Sicarius, the Ordo Vigilus, the Ordo Originatus,
We have
the
Arendelle
Ordo
to thank
Astra,
for
the Ordo
this.
Saturninus, the Ordo Machinum, the
Arendelle's
Ordo
amazing.
Sanctorum, the Ordo Thessalatus, the Ordo Stripus, the Ordo Obscurus, the Ordo Arduus, the
Hey,
Ordo
I gotta
Ultus,
say,
the Ordo
still better than what I would have been able to do with MS Paint.
Oh, yeah.
Sandpaper cigarette. Why? I really need a sandpaper cigarette.
Profanities in a feudal world.
Men and women of the Emperor's eternal glory will charge Eternity Gate and the Imperial Palace to find whoever sent this message. We will save the Imperium from the vile and corrupted who have deeply entrenched themselves in the planet's most holy spaces. Guilt creeps into the most unexpected, which just further shows that there's no such thing as innocence. And we are here to bring them their judgment.
Hey, Fyodor, you should just preach them to death.
All right, so with that ending, what do you guys think?
Okay, two things.
Okay.
One, please correct me if I'm wrong. The Emperor keeps saying he's missing his left hand. But when we watch the show, his right hand is missing. Is this like just a constant running joke, or am I really losing my fucking mind?
No, that is in fact his right hand that's missing. And I
don't know if it was on purpose or not.
Yeah. I don't think it was on purpose, because previously in the show, that hand, his right hand, what is left in the perspective of the viewer, did go flying away.
Yeah, because he was smacking himself repeatedly when he was hearing about what the Inquisition was doing.
Okay. The other thing was, if we can go back to the beginning with the those, I'm guessing those were tech priests.
Yes.
Mechanicus.
Yes, these three.
Okay. Did it disturb anyone else of where the floaty one's third arm is coming out of, and the fact that they're on a penal colony?
God damn it, James.
I have been waiting the entire episode to make that bad joke.
Oh my!
All the better to grab your toasters.
Here's the best part is, or rather, best part, worst part, I don't know. That might have been purposeful by TTS. And we just didn't catch it.
Now I'm curious to whether or not this is a legit art from actual 40k, or if that was done by Eliphas. I'm not sure. So
thank you. I'll be here all week.
Hey, you bring me laughs. I will say that. Okay. So outside of that, my God. Any other questions that comes to mind?
Okay, so Commander Carfreight.
Farsight.
Yes. So he has a offshoot of the Tau that are actually everything that the Emperor kind of wanted, but the majority of the Tau are the things that he wants to destroy, right?
So about Commander Farsight, he basically formed a breakaway colony from the main Tau Empire because of a certain uncomfortable truth in the fact that he found out about how the Ethereals are able to command the Tau Empire as a whole by using the pheromones and such like that. And Farsight, knowing this, basically came to the conclusion that he can't willingly support the subjugation of his own people. However, the biggest reason why he doesn't force a rebellion upon the Tau Empire itself is because of the fact that he knows that it would plunge the Tau back into the quote-unquote dark ages of theirs before they started expanding outside of their planet to conquer space. So that's why he ended up forming the breakaway colonies, so that way he's no longer influenced by the Ethereals, in this case. But by doing so, and by taking a slew of followers with him, he basically becomes public enemy number one to the Ethereals at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So that explains the main reason why the two factions of Tau do exist in this scenario. Okay. Anything else comes to mind?
Nothing on my end.
Okay.
Those were like really kind of the big things.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good set of questions.
Yay! I did good.
Yes, you did. You get a gold star.
Yay!
Yes, you get a gold star.
Seriously, I want a gold star next to my name in the thing when you do the editing now.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and
ding.
There we go. All right, Chelsea. Any questions from you?
There weren't questions, but a couple things that popped up that I made a mental note. I'm like, oh, I want to mention that. But now I don't remember what they are. Well, I remember one I know for sure is all the Ordos. I love seeing all the Ordos because it's so dumb.
Okay.
Like, there's the Ordo Redactus, which takes away information from the public eye that's deemed too unsafe. And then the Ordo, what is it?
Scriptorum?
Scriptorum, where it's like, and they're the one, they record everything. These two are would constantly be at odds with each other, but they both work for the same dumb organization.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's the system that they have. Sadly.
It's just kind of like, you're dumb.
Well,
and the drawings are amazing.
Yes, Arundel, you did a great job with these drawings, dude. This is just works of art right there. I mean, the Ordo Alphas. What am I doing here, Alpha? Just a slew of fun stuff that's there.
Oh yeah.
No.
Question.
Okay.
Time out.
Yeah.
Question. Is Arendelle in? Is he one of the?
Reeb.
Is he? He's Reeb. He is Reeb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm like 90% sure he was one of them. And I'm like, wait, no, I don't know. Yeah, he's Reeb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, never mind. This can be in. I just, in case I was wrong. I didn't want to be wrong.
Okay. Hey, right or wrong, I would have corrected you either way.
That's fair.
I mean, the whole point is learning. Okay, so was that all
Reeb
that came
is
to mind?
awesome. So, I don't know to call it Thundercycler's hatred or the Captain General's hatred of the Tau is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Because he gets vehemently angry. Or not angry, but aggressive towards the Tau.
Yeah, I don't really know the root of his animosity towards the Tau faction. I don't know what it is technically, but I know that in the performance that he was given as the Captain General, he was genuine to his core with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could almost hear the spittle flying as he screams.
Shut up, you big discounted tub of ketchup.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a great insult.
Oh my god. Just a gem of an insult. Although I do have to give Magnus credit for the yellow submarine and unintelligent life. That was kind of funny, but
the yellow submarine.
It don't no copyrights here. For those who
It's a
don't know, that's a
single line.
Beatles reference.
Yeah. Although, what is it? Magnus also did have a pretty good burn as he was walking away. It's like, I'll go to my room. Imperium's so stupid.
What was it he was saying? Oh, Imperial curs are as ignorant as they are clad in gold.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
Well, I mean, look at Kitten and the Strip Stoties.
You mean look at Kitten?
Kitten is the only one with intelligence.
And he's slathered in gold.
Yes.
The Strip Stoties, they are clad in nothing but a helmet.
And they have no intelligence.
Well,
No, that's not true. They're covered in oil.
You know what? That's fair. That is perfectly fair.
Right. Yep.
They're
I was
basically...
sliding through the palace.
Well, their heads quiver with delight.
Oh, he gets some interesting zingers. I don't zingers, but
do.
quotes.
The ones that kind of make you wince a little bit when you hear it. Yeah.
I just feel like you said that. That's something you just said.
Yeah.
Although, of all the, I'm going to say wince-worthy quotes that I've heard in TTS, your Primarch has the worst one.
My Primarch?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Well, we're going to have to wait till we get up to that because James is in the room.
Yes.
Oh, well, fine then.
Sorry, bud. It's coming up. We'll get there soon.
At some point.
Okay, so if that's going to be all of the questions, I feel now would be a good time to do a little bit of a lore dive to explain a few parts of the episode. So, starting from the very beginning, we have the Mechanicus actually arriving on this planet, and this planet's nondescript. There's not really much of anything to say about its name or anything. So the thing about the Mechanicus, since they are given a huge level of autonomy, they are free to explore the galaxy as they see fit for a number of research or exploration-based missions, primarily for looking for STCs and lost technology or rediscovering planets that have been long lost before the Imperium ever was formed.
Question, what are STCs again?
Standard template constructs. They are basically, whatever lost technology that they can replicate, or at the very least blueprints of said technology, so that way they can reintroduce and make it in the Imperium. It is basically a holy, like finding a lost testament of the Bible to them, essentially. But in this case, with blueprints and technology. So when the Magos Gruss lands with the two tech priests alongside him, they made a mention of penal worlds. Penal worlds are basically planets that are designated as planets strictly for prisoners. So that way they export realistically only hard labor. So there's that. I guess another way of looking at it would be Australia in space during the colonial times, I guess would be a way of looking at it. Yes. And because of the fact that Magos Gruss has a drill appendage on him that is rather pronounced, and the fact that they made a reference of piercing the heavens, that's realistically just a reference to Gurren Lagann, a famous anime, essentially. They snuck that into, this TTS episode. So, there we go. He mentions the Omnisecopeia. I think we've touched upon that before, James. Do you remember?
Yes.
Right. The Holy Grail of STC blueprints that has all lost technology. They're Philosopher's Stone to speak of. And then we have this wonderful gentleman that was introduced many episodes ago, but has yet to play an important part.
You'll be waiting a while.
True. He really doesn't start picking up steam until a few episodes later, but he will pick up steam and have an important role to play later on.
His armor looks kind of familiar.
As it should. But I'm not going to go too far into that until we're ready to introduce him in all his glory.
Oh, that's one of my boys, isn't it?
His creed or black, it is confusing.
Anyway. Okay. Now, going further, we have the Emperor and the Captain General having a conversation about blood games. You guys remember what those are, right?
Yes.
They test the palace defenses by releasing things, for lack of a better grouping word, into the palace.
Mm-hmm. Basically to test how quick they are to respond to all threats, ranging from vicious criminals, chaos servers, Chaos Legion Astartes, or even orcs. Okay, so...
Seems like a particularly bad idea, because don't orcs spawn forest when they die?
They do, but I guess that's also a way for them to test whether or not they can clean up the palace to get rid of it. And not only that, you also have to remember, when it comes down to it, Terra has been attacked directly by orcs before. So... But that's a subject for a later date. Okay. Now, for the Tau themselves, I think I should probably queue up a visual for you guys to really appreciate. This is a Tau. So basically an alien that has blue-gray skin and has a slit on their forehead.
It does look like they have a vagina on their head.
Yeah. That's hard to refute.
That's highly disturbing.
I mean, the last thing I want to see is that face anywhere near me at this point. So, the thing about them is the fact that they are an alien species that is referred to by the Captain General as being physically weak. To give you a little bit of context about what that technically translates to, Tau are shorter than humans. So, realistically, they don't really have as much muscle mass compared to what humans can actually lift. So for them, they're not physically strong enough to put up much of a fight in terms of melee combat, in terms of dealing with a human directly. I mean, it's even reflected in their language where they refer to us as Goella, which phonetically, if you say it another way, makes it sound like they're calling us gorillas to them because of how large we are comparatively speaking. Although, alternatively, the Eldar look at humans and call us Mankai, which is monkey, because we're smaller than them. So humans are in between the two species. Their blood is...
I don't like the phrasing of that.
I don't like the picture you just put in my head.
You're welcome.
Let's see. They have cloven feet for their hot and arid areas that they have on their home planet. Their sight can actually see into infrared and ultraviolet light, which makes them really, really capable in terms of a wide range of vision. So basically speaking, they can actually put up a fight, and that's why they're crack shots with their guns. However, when it comes down to speed of depth perception, they really don't have that compared to humans. So they're not as adaptable to shorter ranges when they're looking far out for a long period of time.
Something that you may or may not enjoy. But the description you just gave of the Tau, some of those bits match the Jersey Devil.
Huh.
No, that's fair.
Would that make him a Tau?
Well, if that's the case, then I fully endorse that said crusade. Anyway.
Next time I'm in the Pine Barrens, I'll let you know.
Oh boy. Please take the fourth horseman with you.
Or fish. That could be... No, don't bring fish.
Okay. Their blood is cobalt-based, so they bleed blue.
Oh, like a horseshoe crab.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That means that... Oh, wait, cobalt-based, huh?
Pretty much like most crabs, technically.
Horseshoe crabs are copper-based. That's why it's blue.
I'm gonna have to look into the science behind that because I looked it up and said cobalt, so we'll see how how that plays out.
Well, it's they're not real, so yeah, they could say cobalt. Although it's interesting, cobalt technically has a couple different shades because there's cobalt blue, which is a very beautiful shade of blue, a little radioactive, and toxic. There's also cobalt yellow, it's very pretty, it's a bit paler though.
Oh, I don't like the picture.
But actually, about the shade of the armor, at least the one I've encountered.
Huh. That's weird. Well, the only other thing that needs to be pointed out about the Tau is the fact that they sleep only 3 standard human hours at any given time, and their lifespans are much shorter to that of humans. So, and also the fact that they have a stupid weak presence in the warp. So, under most circumstances, they wouldn't really be able to draw too much of attention to themselves if they were going up against a demon that doesn't look at them visually. Okay. Wince-worthy weapons that the Tau use, they're as effective as lasguns, but they're mostly plasma-based, and they also use railguns as well. So, you know, different variety, same future tech would be a way to look at it. And they exclusively use long-distance weapons, preferably to them, and they would pretty much have others do the physical direct combat, if forced to, in that scenario. Tau propaganda comment that the Captain General makes, that's really just to make fun of weebs in general and indirectly, because of, you know, the Osho honorable comment. And the crusade that was launched against the Tau specifically, and how they got brought into Warhammer 40k a little bit, was called the Damocles Crusade. It was a crusade realistically only in name, and as Old Man Reacts says in his video when he goes in depth into that, basically it was just a very, very small collection of ships that went into Tau space to pretty much go ahead and try to eradicate as many Tau as they can find. And the biggest reason why that crusade was started was because the Tau was encroaching into human space, and a priest from the ecclesiarchy noticed that Tau were making exchanges with humans in his space, and some influence was being lost as a result of that. So he basically just said, launch a crusade, get rid of these bastards. And that's how it happened. Now, the crusade, although considered a quote-unquote success, realistically did not wipe out the Tau, but it did decimate the Tau's territory very thoroughly, to the point that it caused the Tau to reevaluate their thoughts initially on humans, because up until the crusade, the only thing they knew about humans was the fact that humans were living in squalor in a lot of colonies and depended on whatever technology that they could get their hands on. But when they saw Astartes dropping in, when they saw ships bombarding planets and just absolutely destroying planet after planet, that's when they had a complete reevaluation of humans and they started weaponizing even more. The Damocles Crusade happened at about the 38th millennium. So they've had 2,000 years to pretty much evolve their technology and weapons and tactics to pretty much try to answer against the human threat. So because we didn't get rid of them outright, they've developed to become more of a threat now as compared to then.
See what happens when you do something half-assed?
Yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it. And looks like there are a total of 17 incorporated species into the Tau Empire, so that means 17 different alien races make up their empire, humans being one of them that were from some of these colonies. And yeah, the whole thing about castrations and everything, yeah, that's a thing that they do. Why they do it, I could not find a valid reason.
So these things are really more like the Covenant than anything else.
If we were looking at it from the Halo lens, I guess that would be a good way of looking at it, yeah. Initially, they were introduced to Warhammer 40k to try to include a quote-unquote good guy, but because of how a lot of people reacted to it, to the Tau's introduction being quote-unquote good compared to the rest of the galaxy, no one could really get behind the idea. So then they started incorporating some factors like the ethereals and their brainwashing into it to make them more detestable. But if you look at it from a certain lens, the Tau are technically good guys compared to Chaos and the Empire and whatnot. At least from certain perspectives. Personally, I don't feel anything is good about them. They just need to go.
Yeah, I don't really like the slavery thing.
Yeah.
It's not really okay.
Yeah. Although, I have to say, the fact that they trusted the Drukhari, like, from the onset, yeah, no. That's like going to the dentist, and the dentist's only tool on the tray is a nail clipper.
I don't know. Why did you worry about that?
Bad George.
Oh my gosh.
Bad George. Bad.
Oh no, bad.
I'm sorry.
Bad.
It was too easy not to make that joke.
Oh gosh.
And sorry for anyone who saw that on screen. Just...
But no, why did you torture them with it?
Oh.
Well, anyway, moving on. And Commander Farsight. Going back to him. So Commander Farsight, when he formed his breakaway colony, he did so as a result after the Damocles Crusade, from what I understand of the timeline. So he was around during the 38th millennium. Since they don't live as long as humans, it kind of leads to a weird question of how the hell did he last this long to the modern day? And apparently he's over 300 or so years old, as by far as some of their estimates are. Hold on, let me look at my notes again. Here we go. So Commander Farsight apparently is over 300 years old, despite the fact that most Tau can't outlive most humans. And the biggest reason as to why that is due to the fact that he has a very unique weapon that he uses, which is what Magnus pointed out, a warp-powered sword. Warp is sort of like a weird way of looking at it, because I couldn't really find much more than it's made out of a special material that has an effect on time. But anyone that Commander Farsight cuts down with the blade actually takes away the length of their lifespan and adds it to the wielder. Of course, whether or not Farsight knows this, I highly doubt. All I know is that he basically has been around for so long that those who are in the Farsight enclaves, they don't actually, or at least some of them, don't actually believe he's the true Commander Farsight, but really someone who in an honorable fashion took on the name to continue the Farsight enclave.
So Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, very much.
I was literally about to just say, I'm not the real Dread Pirate Roberts, he says. My name is Kyle.
But yeah, it is definitely Commander Farsight. Now, another thing that needs to also be thrown out there, we really don't know what Farsight's endgame is. Or at least I don't. I couldn't find anything that really shows more than he just has his own corner of Tau space that he just stays in and fortified and just refuses to surrender to the Tau Empire. This caused the Tau Empire to label him as public enemy number 1 and essentially caused his replacement, since he was sort of like the commander general of the Tau army during the whole Crusade kerfuffle, that basically the current commander-in-chief, essentially, for their army has to deal with him directly at some point. But we'll see how that plays out. All right. I think that pretty much covers everything
Pretty cool.
Lore-wise here. And yeah, pretty cool. I have to agree.
As far as Tau go, the current commander's pretty cool.
What, Commander Farsight?
No, the one that took over for Farsight. Although Farsight's really awesome as well. Actually, I would argue Farsight is a little bit better because my biggest problem with the Tau is the whole enslavement thing. Really not cool. But he is against that, so I like Farsight.
Yeah, he basically just has this general notion of, I can't be true to myself and follow the ethereals. They don't follow my principle.
And I think that's really cool.
Yep. Gotta give respect to someone who can stand up to tyranny.
If only the human empire did that.
We don't have a tyrant, we have an emperor. That's different.
Yeah, sure thing, Wolf.
Enjoy the facts, book reader. Anyway, who's ready for the next video?
I am.
Yay. All right, then let's go ahead and jump on in.
I call upon sunshine. Hello, 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 hello,
hello,
hello,
hello.
Yes, what? Hello? Yes? What's happening?
I just found out why your hatred for the Tau burns so iridescently.
What is this? Why? Why do you do this to me, Shadow Son? No.
I'm so sorry, but we can't keep doing this.
But why?
I do, but my forehead is always so sore when I'm with you.
Oh my gosh.
For the greater good. I have to leave you. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Oh, that's a...
You want to talk about this?
This is not fucking canon!
Oh my god! That was the best reaction ever!
Still one of my favorites to this day.
Oh my gosh.
This is not
And it gets
fucking
better.
canon!
Well, and it gets better, James, because if I remember correctly, Thunderstriker, who does the Captain General, genuinely does not like the Tau.
Mm-hmm.
And if you noticed when the video was playing, there was a slight change to the speech patterns when he said Shadow Sun's name as opposed to everything else. So part of me almost wonders if they recorded a different bit and then they edited it to have Shadow Sun in there instead and then presented it to him, and that was his genuine reaction.
Oh, I really hope that's how it went, because that's so beautiful.
It is hilarious, and to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't put it past them that they would have done something to have Thundersucker just completely stop, read something else entirely, not know what the whole subject was, and for them to twist it on him like that. It is hilarious, and the whole "it's not fucking canon" that is a beautiful reaction to just the worst thing you could do to somebody.
It really is.
Woo. Okay, so any particular questions about that one?
I call upon
Sunshine.
Hello. Okay, just the one is, what was it, Shadow Striker? Who is that?
Shadow Sun.
Shadow Sun. Who's Shadow Sun?
Okay. So, Shadow Sun. She is the current Commander General of the Tau Army, or Supreme Commander, essentially. She is
Farsight or Tau proper.
Tau proper. She has nothing. Okay. She has nothing to do with the Farsight Enclave. The thing was, when Farsight separated himself from the main Tau Empire, he basically had a step in for that position, and in this case, it was Shadow Sun. Now, the circumstance with that was the fact that one of her first orders was to go after Farsight and bring him in to the Ethereals. Funny story about that was the fact that because of the combat that Shadow Sun had seen alongside Farsight, and having owed Farsight for saving her life, she basically snuck a message to him to give him a head start to get away. And that was the last quote-unquote honorable thing she would do for a friend, but her mission at this point is go after Farsight and bring him down. Now, specifically about her is that she was around during the third sphere of conquest, so she was, around for a while. A potent military leader who effectively held out against hive fleets with 0 ship casualties. That is impressive, considering the fact that you're going up against Tyranid ships that are flying through space, and not losing a single ship in the entire naval combat is just impressive. The only loss that she suffered heavily from was when she had to deal with a contingent of White Scars that went through Tau space, led by Khosaro Khan of the White Scars. So she basically has a bone to pick with that faction of Astartes specifically. Now, in her case, because of the fact that she was around for the Farsight betrayal and became the Supreme Commander, there is also the fact that she's technically around in modern day as well. The way that they answered that discrepancy boils down to the fact that she was cryostasis up until this point. So,
okay.
Yeah, when she was lost for a time, she basically threw herself into cryostasis until they were able to be found. And one of the first things that happened when she got out of cryostasis was the fact that she was met with the Death Guard. So, yeah, Chaos faction where they're just a plague walking around decimating Tau that have no idea what these Astartes are like. Yeah, that's a scary time to wake up and all of that. We don't really know the story about how she survived that encounter with the Death Guard or what the aftermath of it was. All we know is that, it happened and she was able to get back to Tau space to lead. But currently, in the main lore, she's leading the Fifth Sphere campaigns against the Empire, or against the Imperium and other forces in order to expand Tau space even more so currently. So she survived her stint with the Death Guard, but how, we don't really know. So that's all you need to know about Shadow Sun.
Okay.
Yep. Any questions, Chels?
Questions for me.
What was that?
I said no questions for me.
All right, so we're going to be going into another clip, but this time we're taking a departure from Brother Alphabusa for this. We're actually going to be visiting the channel for Eliphas, and it's going to be about the Tau. So let me go ahead and cue this up.
Oh my gosh.
That, my friends, is basically the Dominus Crusade in its entirety. Or, sorry, the Damocles Crusade in its entirety, in terms of description. As soon as the Astartes hit the floor, that's it. They were done.
The Astartes is just sitting there almost patiently, just like, are you
done?
Are you done yet? Actually, no. Oh, I know what it reminds me of. Oh my gosh. So growing up, I had a Saint Bernard, which, if you're aware of the breed, they're quite large.
Yes.
But she was the sweetest girl. She never really barked or freaked out. And whenever we'd go on to take her for a walk, she'd always walk next to me, even if I could drape the leash over her, and she'd just walk next to me. She's a very good girl. But at one point, we were walking past this house that had a little yippy dog. Mm-hmm. That's one of those overly aggressive yippy dogs.
Kind of like a Chihuahua.
He ran across his yeah, I think it's like some sort of small terrier, but
okay.
He ran across his electric fence and across the street to where I was, barking the entire time. And this dog had terrorized small children before. So I'm like, oh crap, what's he gonna do? Mm-hmm. But he gets over to my dog and is like barking at her, and she just stares down at him, unflinching, not making a sound. The other dog, and then runs away. Mm-hmm. And then she just looks at me like, can we go now? I'm just like, oh, you sweet girl.
Sort of like the lion in the room scenario. You see a big guy in the room and you're just like, I don't want to mess with them. Could be the sweetest guy ever, but, you know, someone that you can be best buds with, but just their size is enough for you to just, maybe it's better if I just leave them alone.
And this kind of reminded me of that, because the Ultramarine is just sitting there watching this little yip.
Yep.
Try to be threatening, just kind of like, oh, you're not worth the energy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to sum up the Tau in terms of the lore, yeah. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Tau players who are going to be very, very critical of that comment. Please comment below about your thoughts on how the Tau are treated across the fan base. It'll amuse me. Okay, so I think I got another clip for you, so let me get to it.
Oh my god.
George, you're gonna get glitter in the mail.
Why?
Because you deserve it.
Oh, come on. I know you don't like the Tau as much as many, but my goodness, when they do a perfect recreation of the Gundam Wing opening, I mean, it's too perfect.
You know, and the funny thing is, I'm watching that and I'm like being able to, just because it's just slightly out of sync, it's like I'm picking out exactly which Gundam is what and where.
Yep. Oh, man. And yes, I do blame you for building Barbados during the prep phase of this episode. That's why I was reminded this existed.
Damn.
Okay. Last one, I swear. Then we're wrapped up for the night, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and look up Farsight Enclaves.
Oi, what the cock happened here? I told these gits to hold their zogging ground. Now it's all wrecked.
They look like they got chopped up good, boss.
Chopped up? The enemy here out there fancy town. In a good old feisty fight, they wouldn't even risk their life against a grunt. You forking dog cock.
But look, boss, tis all cut and sliced and chopped and smashed. Their dead bodies are not missing. No head shorty beat them a house like always.
You're right. Something's not right there. Even them crooks that they got can't do that sort of hunting. What?
You found a beggars more fire sight and a shake the shit out of it. Me to the Tatakai or Shogo. King of Kakashimasu. Ima, Anatama Dawn, and Parade and Wine Idea. Shida Karibanarimasan.
What?
I'm scared.
Get back and line your cock. Tis just a fish face with a shiny chopper. War boss 4 trucks won't lose without a fight. See, I got your attention now, fish face. You really got that much faith in your puny little red can, boys?
それが真実である。確かに強力な強化です。あれは独自のチームを持っている内心格に上がった私たちのうちの一つで、しかしヒットすることはできない。ルートをデスティニー。
Fucking twat. What the song
Yeah.
ありがとう、将軍様。まだ私に感謝しないでください。私たちはやるべきことがたくさん持っていなければなりません。しかし、今のところ私たちの旅を続けましょう。はい。
They even added a corny anime outro.
That is funny.
So, he kills somebody with it, he steals their ears, yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty much how
Does
it
that
goes.
stop an orc from respawning?
You know, that could be probable, to be perfectly honest. If they don't have any years left in their cellular structure, what can be regenerated?
Down below, let us know if an orc can regenerate after Shadow Sun is... not Shadow Sun,
I'm tired,
Farsight.
hungry, and my hooves hurt.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. Eliphas, that was a great video. Underrated.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, man.
Those were quite funny.
Yeah. They were able to pretty much mash in every stereotypical anime bullcrap trope, stuff it into one video with Warhammer characters, and then just... it was too damn funny to me.
We know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that pretty much sums up this episode. So, exclusively about the Tau this time around. But we'll be back in a future episode, and we'll be going ahead and covering the rest of TTS. And more than likely touch on more of Eliphas' stuff down the road. So keep an eye out for that when we actually get around to it. So, until then, thank you guys for coming over and watching with us. And if you have any comments, feel free to go ahead